Hey warriors, welcome back to Empowerment and Illness. I'm your host Gwen. You've made it this far with me through every climb, every shift, and every small victory. If you've been following the season, you know we've been doing more than talking. We've been transforming the way we see ourselves. In episode 7, we rose higher, redefined strength, and reaching new heights. Then in episode 8, we face the truth of what it feels like to be tired of being strong, the exhaustion that comes from always having to hold it together. Today, in episode 9, we're taking the next step because strength without action is potential waiting to be used. The problem is that so many of us are exhausted from fighting battles no one sees. We wake up every day in bodies that require extra effort to do basics while still showing up for work, family, and life. We've learned to push through, to smile when we want to cry, to keep moving even when the world forgets how much it cost us to do so. But deep down, we want something different. We don't want to just survive our lives. We want to impact them. We want to use what we've learned to make change. The villain isn't always our diagnosis. Sometimes it's the system that wasn't built for our bodies or our journeys. It's the silence around invisible illness. It's the disbelief from doctors, the dismissive tone from coworkers, the policies that overlook our needs. It's the guilt we carry when we need rest, the fear that we'll be judged for asking for help. The villain is the lie that our limitations define us. The solution begins with us. Empowerment and Illness was never meant to be a podcast that you only listen to. It's a space that reminds you that your story, your knowledge, and your experiences hold power. Each of us carries a small piece of the movement. When you share your story, you educate. When you advocate for yourself, you pave the way for others. When you refuse to be silent, you remind the world that strength has many faces and they all matter. The vision is clear. A world where chronic illness isn't hidden or minimized. Where advocacy becomes a daily act, not a last resort. Where we move together, lift each other, and create systems that see us for who we are, capable, informed, and united. The movement begins now, and it starts with you. When you live with a chronic illness, survival becomes your full-time job. Every day, you wake up already behind schedule, already managing pain, fatigue, or symptoms before you even start your day. In the beginning, it's personal. It's about learning your body, your triggers, your limits. It's about finding ways to make it through. You focus on your own battle because that's all you can handle, and that's okay. That's where it starts for all of us. But something changes when you start to rise. You begin to see that your story isn't just about you. It's about the millions of others who wake up fighting the same invisible battles, carrying the same frustrations, trying to stay strong when they feel anything but. The shift from personal to collective happens the moment you realize you're not the only one, and that your voice, your truth, your experience can help someone else feel less alone. That's the spark of a movement. We've all been conditioned to fight quietly, to hide our pain, to prove our worth by pretending everything is fine. But hiding doesn't heal us. It isolates us. The more we open up, the more power we gain. That's what makes community so powerful. It multiplies strength. One person can start a conversation, but it takes a collective to create change. When you begin to share your truth, whether that's posting online, speaking up in a doctor's office, or simply admitting you're struggling, you are planting a seed. That seed might grow into awareness, compassion, or policy change. It might grow into a connection that saves someone's mental health on a hard day. Your story doesn't have to be loud to be powerful. It just has to be honest. The shift from personal to collective isn't about losing your individual identity. It's about expanding it. It's understanding that your experience is part of something larger, a movement built on empathy, trust, and action. You're not standing alone in this anymore. You're standing among warriors, and when warriors move together, the world notices. Awareness is powerful, but awareness without action is unfinished work. It's like standing on the edge of change, but never stepping forward. For so many of us, we spent years learning to survive in silence. We learned how to explain our symptoms without sounding like we're complaining. We learned how to take care of others even when our bodies were falling apart. But survival is not the finish line, it's the foundation. Action is what turns pain into purpose. It's what transforms your voice into impact. Sometimes action is public, like starting a support group, creating a resource, or speaking on a podcast. But often it's quiet. It's choosing to rest without guilt. It's calling your doctor again when you feel dismissed. It's telling your employer what you need to succeed at work. Every action, no matter how small, counts. When we act, we reclaim control. Chronic illness takes a lot from us. It changes our plans, our routines, even our sense of self. But taking action in any form reminds us that we are still in charge of how we show up in this world. We are still capable of shaping what comes next. You might not be able to change your diagnosis, but you can change how you respond to it. And here's the truth about movement. Once one person acts, others follow. Courage is contagious. Every post, every story, every time you speak up, someone else watching finds a little more strength to do the same. That's how change happens, not in one big moment, but in the everyday choices that say, I am still here, I am still fighting. So today, I want to ask you a question. What would action look like for you? Maybe it's setting a boundary. Maybe it's finding your community. Maybe it's simply saying I need help. Whatever it is, that one action matters. Because when we move, the world starts to move with us. Every movement begins inside. Before change happens in the world, it starts within the individual who dares to believe there is more. The truth is, no one wakes up one day and feels instantly ready to rise. Growth happens in the quiet moments, in the private decisions that no one sees. It happens when you choose to believe in your own voice again. It happens when you decide that your life still has meaning, even if it looks different from what you planned. The moment within is about alignment. It's when your mind, your body, and your purpose begin to speak the same language. That doesn't mean the pain goes away or the challenges disappear. It means you begin to see yourself not as broken, but as becoming. You start to honor your limits, but you also stop letting them define you. You stop apologizing for needing rest, for asking questions, for wanting better care. You start recognizing your worth in every small victory, every effort to keep showing up. There's power in choosing to see yourself as more than your diagnosis. The world may define you by your illness, but the movement within reminds you that you are not your condition. You are the person living through it, learning from it, and building something stronger because of it. You are not a burden. You are not a bridge for others to cross into understanding. As you begin to grow internally, the ripple spreads. The energy you put into healing yourself, into finding your voice, doesn't stay inside. It touches your relationships, your community, your environment. When you practice compassion for yourself, you model it for others. When you choose hope, you make it easier for someone else to find theirs. That is how internal transformation becomes external change. So here's something to think about. What movement is happening within you right now? Maybe it's the courage to speak up, the decision to rest, or the quiet acceptance that you are worthy of care. Whatever it is, honor it. Growth doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, and that whisper is enough to start a revolution inside you. When we talk about rising higher, it's not just about us as individuals. It's about what we build together. It's about what happens when people like us, people living with chronic conditions, start standing up and saying, we deserve to be part of the conversation. We're not asking for pity. We're not asking for a spotlight. We're asking for partnership, for progress, for understanding. The truth is, the future isn't something we wait for anymore. We create it. Every time we speak up at our doctor's office, every time you advocate for yourself at work, every time you tell your story, you're building that future. You're showing the world what strength really looks like, because strength isn't about pretending everything's fine. It's about being real, being honest, and still showing up anyway. And that's what Empowerment in Illness is all about. We're not here to simply survive. We're here to grow, to connect, and to change things. We're here to make sure that no one goes through this alone. When you find your people, the ones who understand the exhaustion, the appointments, the emotions, you find your strength again. You start to realize that you're part of something so much bigger than your diagnosis. Community changes everything. When one of us speaks up, others get braver. When one of us finds hope, it spreads. That's the ripple effect we're creating together. The future is being written right now by people like you. People who keep going, even when it's hard. People who turn pain into purpose, fear into faith, and loneliness into community. So as we rise, let's keep rising together. Let's keep building a space where warriors are seen, heard, and valued. Because the future belongs to those who keep showing up, even on the hard days. As we walk in this season, I want you to remember something important. October isn't only about cooler weather and falling leaves. For a lot of us, it's a hard month. The October slide is real. Our bodies start to feel the change in the air, and the fatigue hits differently. But you don't have to go through it alone. This is when community matters the most. When I look at the warriors fighting breast cancer, I see what strength and community looks like. They remind us what hope can do when it's shared. They lean on each other, they lift one another up, and they keep showing up, even when it hurts. That's the kind of energy we need to carry as chronic illness warriors. We're all connected by the same fight, the fight to live, to keep going, to hold on to hope when the world feels heavy. And yes, this time of the year can be hard. The pain feels louder, the fatigue lingers longer, the depression sometimes creeps in. But this is when you reach out to each other, when we send that message, when we check in on a friend, when we choose to hold on instead of isolate. That one act, that one moment of reaching out can be the thing that helps someone else make it through the day. This movement isn't about perfection or pretending to be okay. It's about showing up as you are. It's about choosing to believe in hope even when your body feels broken. It's about remembering that community is our medicine too. When one of us struggles, we show up. When one of us wins, we celebrate together. Because even though our illnesses may differ, our fight is the same, to keep living and loving in the face of pain. So as you move through this season, lean into your community. Let hope guide you, whether it's your family, your friends, or the warriors here at Empowerment in Illness. We are stronger together. We rise together. And we keep believing that better days are still ahead. This episode is brought to you by Empowerment in Illness, where we strive for advocacy through action, empowerment through knowledge, and inclusion through understanding. Today's sponsor spotlight is on our Flare Day Essentials collection, created for warriors who know that some days hit harder than others. These aren't random comfort items, they're tools for survival. Picture this, a soft, cozy blanket that wraps around you like a gentle hug on a bad day, a heating pad that melts away the stiffness in your joints, and affirmation cards that speak strength into you when your body feels too weak to do it alone. We've also added the ebook, Through the Fog, a chronic illness guide to completing the SSI paperwork. It walks you step by step through the process so you don't have to face it alone. Because here, we believe information is power, and power leads to peace. You'll find all of these and more through the link in my bio or on our link tree. Each item was created to bring warmth, relief, and encouragement to your daily life. So take what you need, share with another warrior, and remember, comfort isn't luxury. It's part of your healing. Be prepared. Don't panic. Before we leave, I would like to close with a special portion of the show I call Healing Heartbeats. This is where we allow ourselves to wallow in sorrow. Give yourself 3 minutes to laugh, cry, scream, cuss, or just sit in silence. Whatever you need to do to feel it, do it. Let the depression in for only 3 minutes. Once you've reached 3 minutes, compartmentalize it and get back to living. This is a rinse and repeat behavior. You cannot let depression take over, because when it does, it will not let go. When we hear about the passing of someone, they have the day they were born and the day they pass away. There is a dash in the middle. It's not a long line, but a short dash. That dash represents your life. Go live in spite of having a chronic illness. Don't let your condition stop you. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to remind you of something simple but powerful. Your story still matters, even on the days it feels quiet. Every step you take, no matter how slow, is progress. Every moment you show up for yourself is strength. You've learned, adapted, and kept going, and that deserves to be celebrated. Empowerment in illness means advocacy through action, empowerment through knowledge, and inclusion through understanding. That's what we are building together. A movement of warriors who lift each other up, share the truth, and keep hope alive. So as you step into this next week, hold on to what we talked about today. Let it stay with you when the world feels heavy. You are part of something greater, a community that sees you, believes in you, and walks beside you. Remember, you have the strength, the heart, and the support to continue your journey. Be safe.